Zorhan Mamdani ran a magical campaign. It was noticed globally, and comments like these flooded in. The 34-year-old, who's been called a lunatic by U.S. President Donald Trump, won in New York City's mayoral election on Tuesday. Last year, barely anyone knew his name. He had little money and no institutional support from the Democratic Party. But this week, record number of voters showed up to the ballot boxes, and Mamdani won over half of those voters.
This is pretty exceptional. It's been many years since any politician has generated this sort of excitement in New York.
Before we get into how he pulled it off, here are some of his firsts. He's New York City's first Muslim mayor, its first South Asian mayor, its first mayor who was born in Africa, and almost certainly the first New York City mayor to have met his wife on the dating app Hinge. We'll talk more about New York City's new First Lady, 28-year-old Rama Duwaji, in a moment. He's also the youngest mayor of the city in over a century. Some critics have used that to claim he doesn't have the required experience. So, what other roles has he held before this one? Born in Uganda to Indian parents, Mamdani moved to New York with his family at the age of 7. His mother, Mira Nair, is a celebrated film director, and his father, Professor Mahmoud Mamdani, teaches at Columbia University. Both are alumni of Harvard University. Zorhan attended the Bronx High School of Science and later got a degree in Africana Studies from Bowdoin College. Before politics, he worked as a housing counselor, helping low-income homeowners fight eviction. And you've probably seen the old videos because he also used to be a rapper, performing under the names Young Cardamom and Mr. Cardamom.
Go ahead, make a rap for your naughty.
Earlier this year, he married Brooklyn-based artist Rama Duwaji, who he'd matched up with on Hinge. At 28, she will be the youngest First Lady the city has ever had. Born in Texas, she is of Syrian heritage, and throughout the campaign, she helped Mamdani shape his branding from behind the scenes. What's his plan for New York City? He's proposed rent freezes and stricter accountability for negligent landlords. He also wants a chain of city-owned grocery stores focused on affordability, a free bus service, universal child care from 6 weeks to 5 years, more rent-stabilized, union-built housing, and a flat 2% tax for people in the city earning more than $1 million a year. But Maverick real estate partners argue that freezing rent would be catastrophic for landlords. And the company that runs New York's public transport says the bus plans would cost far more than expected. On Israel-Gaza, his views go further than most Democrats. He said he believes Israel is committing genocide in Gaza and that its Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, should be arrested. Israel strongly rejects all accusations of genocide. So, lots of big ideas. But he's likely to come up against backlash when trying to put them into practice. He's already a target for Trump, who's called him a lunatic communist and threatened to withhold federal funding from New York City. But he's not backing down.
So Donald Trump, since I know you're watching, turn the volume up!
And then there's New York's governor, Democrat Kathy Hochul. She's already opposed to his tax plans. And even if he finds the money, Mamdani won't be able to carry out some of his ideas without state approval. But for at least 4 years, he'll represent New York's 8 million residents. And some have asked if after that he could run for president. But as it stands, the answer is no. The Constitution states a president or vice president must have been a U.S. citizen at birth. Mamdani will be sworn in as mayor on the 1st of January.
The impact on the economy is far worse than we expected because it's gone on for so long. And so there are now like Goldman estimates that it's over 1% or 1.5% of GDP. I will say travel and leisure is a place that's really being heavily hit right now. And if it continues to get hit, if the air travel thing goes south for another week or two, then you could say that they would have at least a near-term downturn.
What do you do about it? President Trump says Republicans terminate the filibuster and bring back the American dream. If you don't do it, the Dems will, and you'll never see office again. The administration is so far complying with the court order to fund food stamp benefits during the shutdown, but folks here are still a long ways apart from Democratic holdouts.
The shutdown is caused by the Democrats, and we're not going to spend $1 trillion or $1.5 trillion on health care for people that came into our country illegally, many of them from prisons and many of them drug dealers and murderers, 11,888 murderers. We're not doing that.
Later on today, Senate Republicans plan to have their first vote in a little bit to try to reopen the government. And that vote is expected to fail because Democrats are banding together. They think that they can squeeze more out of Republicans, get a better deal for the Democratic side if they wait longer, if they enforce, if there is some more pain felt nationwide by the shutdown. And these Democrats feel like they have got the wind at their backs after a good night for their side on Tuesday. Dana.
Thank you, Peter. And more on this, Fox News Sunday anchor Shannon Bream. And Shannon, I feel like they're basically, the Democrats, by feeling emboldened, are playing chicken.